This is part 2 of Signs of a Toxic Friend. If you have not already watched part 1, please do that. I will have that part 1 linked in the description below. Having an absolute meltdown, but no one knows what happened before that. All they are hearing is that moment. And so that's what will be considered lying by omission as well. Creating a scenario by totally taking out the part that would have explained the reaction that we are seeing. And let me just say this, not all reactions, sometimes people may do things, yes, even though what the person is doing is not right. Even though someone is doing something, let's say someone did something that's not right, it doesn't mean that you have a right to go breaking things and getting violent. No, it doesn't. But it still gives us a clear view or reasoning as to what is happening and why it took place versus that omission. All right. Jealous and toxic people cannot celebrate you. That jealous and toxic friend, they cannot celebrate you. They will rain on your parade. So when good things happen to you and you're being celebrated, it could be your birthday party, your engagement party, it could be your wedding, it could be your send-off, your graduation, just something, right? Your quinceanera, I think I'm saying it right, I hope I am. They will just ruin it, and they will show up and they will have that wooden expression the whole time, just looking sad. And what they know is that you are such a caring friend that you're going to be like, come on, are you okay? You okay? And you're not going to be able to enjoy yourself because all you're caring about is making sure that they're okay. So they'll be taking you away from your family. Even some people, this happened in relationships. I'll do a video on that, where you have that person who is just toxic and they do that type of thing. They create a situation where you cannot celebrate and you cannot enjoy yourself because they're upset, and now they spend the whole time out on the patio or outside and argue with you and cry, and you're sitting in a car with this person with this weepy wally, just and you didn't do this and you didn't do that, and why was you doing this, and I saw you doing that and you didn't call me, and you're literally like but they will absorb you. And so this is what happens with this toxic friend. They cannot celebrate with you. They will rain on your parade by ruining it or coming up with their little sad story. You'll find yourself shrinking to make them comfortable. Okay? You're going to be uncomfortable. They're going to train you in this way. The more you're around them, they're not even going to have to say it. You're going to be able to pick up on the cues. So let's say you get a gift or you get a hug, you're going to shrink back from your dad or your mom giving you the hug. The gifts, you're going to feel guilty because you have this friend that's sitting there looking mopey dopey and sad, because now they're going to start looking like, a stick the whole evening. So you're going to start to behave a certain way. You feel guilty for simply being you. All right. So have you seen their creepy face yet? Have you seen the creepy face of the jealous and toxic person? It's a face that when you look up and catch this hateful, scary look that disappears very quickly. And when you see it, it just disappears, and it's so scary. It just looks the way they're looking at you. Well, what it is, you saw their heart. You saw truly how they feel about you. Do not ignore it. It's something that happens. You don't see it all the time. And every now and then I tell people sometimes you just got to turn around real quick and just see. But just look it up. And you'll see this little look. You don't want to be in the habit of doing it all the time, because then you become paranoid. It's one of those things that happen that is so out of the blue, it's shocking, that you just happen to look up and you see them giving you the most hateful expression, that's when you're seeing their heart. That's when you're seeing that hatred for you. You're seeing that stuff in 3D where the mask drops, and because you were looking down and you happen to look up, then they hide it. Don't ignore that. And don't ask them about it, because they're going to deny it. All right. Sometimes that toxic, jealous friend will try to take your family. They'll literally try to take your family. They think that they can't replace you. That's the most craziest thing. Okay? They believe they can replace you. So they'll come in and they see your family and they try to get close to your mom, and they'll get in there and wash the dishes. You're supposed to wash the dishes and you didn't wash it yet. They'll go in and wash it, and the mom will be like, see, oh, look how your friend is washing the dishes. They'll try to do little things like that because in their heads and in their minds, they feel like that is going to show you up. But when you have a strong family foundation, you may never wash the dishes for 7 years. Your family is never, they're never going to replace you. That is not even an option. So, but their warped thinking is to always try to outshine you in some way. Okay? So they're going to try, they believe that they can replace you. And if they can't, they will sulk and think of how to destroy the family bond. And depending on how warped they are and how unhinged they are, you never know. This person coming in and create problems, make allegations against your brother, your sister, your dad, your mom, your family. You have to be very careful. Some people will go further than you even imagine. I think these are rare cases, but you never know. You could pick up that one bad egg that just comes in and just ruins your entire life. The thing that you have to realize about a toxic friend, you may want to keep them around for whatever reason. You always want to think positive about them. You want to try to understand them. But you better realize is that they don't like you. They like your life. They like your stuff and the benefits of being associated with you. Okay, whether it's your popularity, whether it's your positive home life, whether it's just the image, the image boost, whatever it may be, there's a reason, there's something they want, something they like, and they're with you just for that reason. Okay. All right. Now, what can cause this person to become this way, this toxic individual? Well, a lot of times it could be some kind of trauma, something they experienced in their childhood, something they experienced in their young adult, as a young adult, something they may experience in their adolescence. And sometimes it could just be entitlement. Maybe they weren't abused. They're just used to getting their way. They're used to being the only one shining. There could be many reasons. And that's one of the other things you have to be careful of when you're listening to people and they're telling you their sad story about how, I always say the hard done by story. There's nothing wrong with sharing your tales and sharing your story, because it's natural for people to have things that they've gone through and they talk about it because it's a healing. And they may be able to talk to their friends about the stuff, and they express their feelings and they really open their heart and talk about it. And there's a process that you may go through. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's people who they lean on that as a crutch, and that is, they talk about like it just happened, and that is their excuse to do wrong and misbehave and mistreat people and not be accountable. Okay? But sometimes it's because of things that happened in their childhood, some trauma, something occurred, and they never healed right. So their thinking is different, and they attach to people in an unhealthy way, and they have a lot of jealousy, a lot of bitterness, a lot of their thinking is so different. They can't be happy because they're always unhappy. So because they always feel unhappy, they're dissatisfied with themselves. They're always seeing themselves as less than. They just think in this negative way. They it's hard for them to be happy for you because they don't like themselves. And then of course, as I said, just being entitled, they just feel like they should always be the only one on top, the only one getting attention, and those are the rare cases. How do you move forward? How do you kind of get away from this person? I would say, number one, you need to begin to pay close attention to their behaviors, because you want to make sure that this applies to your friend. A lot of times, the human instinct always tells you, you get that gut feeling, you need to pay attention. You've seen the things that they've done. You know when you have that selfish friend. You know when you have that friend that's rude. You know how you feel when you're getting ready to go out with them or they show up. You know that look that they're giving you. You know more than anyone else whether you have a toxic friend or not. Everybody can make mistakes, and there's no perfect friendship. We can all make mistakes, but when you are a genuine and a true friend, a true and genuine friend does not wake up trying to think of how to hurt someone. You just wake up and you're just about, hey, what are we going to do today? You just want to have fun. It's just good vibes, good feelings. You are not thinking anything. And even if you have you feel bad and about something, or something occurs, you're going to find a way to resolve it. Even if you're a quiet person, you're a little reserved, you don't really like talking about things, if you are both genuine as friends, you're going to figure out a way to resolve it, and it's not going to be done in a malicious way. Okay. So first, you need to pay attention to the things that they're doing, and give yourself, I don't know, if you want to say you want to do 30 days or however long, just pay attention. You don't need to say anything to them and give them heads up. You just really pay attention. It doesn't have to be 30 days because you probably already know. And then the thing that you do, spend less time with them. Just gradually spend less time with them. Become less available. Get involved in activities that may change your schedule. Maybe join a club that you're not coming straight home from school, or you have to do something different, or just something of that nature. Have your family support. You want to ensure that your family is supporting you in this. There's nothing worse than having a family who does not support you and they want to go and take sides with the bad friend. So you're telling them something that's going on, and then they're like, oh, well, I still invited her over. I still had him over for dinner, and he's still coming over for game night. She's still coming over for game night. We invited them to the movies. I think that's one of the most messed up things, because no matter how long you've known them and if they've been good friends, you choose your family first. That's just the bottom line. There's nothing worse than that, because when the family's choosing this person who's hurt you, they're choosing them. That person normally is going to have double reinforcements, because this person's family is not choosing you over them. So they still have their family, and then they have your family in their corner, and you're left by yourself. So those are the things that I will say. I would say take less calls, and then don't think about talking to them about anything. That talk is not going to do anything. Okay, it's going to make it worse. Don't try to talk to them like, well, I think this is what you're doing, or that's what it's going to do. You're giving them ammunition to go tell people, oh, well, he said this, she said that. They know how they are. Just dry them out. Just dry them out. No, there's nothing wrong. Just, my schedule's different. Things are different. Give them nothing, and they'll eventually get the picture and just disappear. What I would advise you for in the future, when you are making friends, limit access to too much of your life, too much of yourself before letting someone in too quickly. Okay? I know that it's really hard to do, especially when you're young. Because when you're young, especially when you're like in middle school or young adults, even teens, young adult, adolescents, you're still figuring yourself out. But something I want you to know is that the human brain does not fully develop until your mid-20s. So it doesn't mean you're stupid or anything like that, but reasoning, discernment, all that stuff It's not quite all there yet. You have enough to survive and to figure things out at the stage that you're in. But a lot of times you have this longing. Your heart is a more pure, believe it or not, and you're going to be more forgiving. And we're raised in a society of trying to be respectful. Please, thank you, excuse me, seeing the best in people. At least that's how most of us would have been raised. And when you have a friend, you want to find and you want to see the best in them because you like them. You don't want to lose your routine of having someone to walk home with and someone to talk to or to have lunch with, especially if it's just your one friend. So you may want to stick around for certain things, but this is where you're going to have to be a little bold. This is where you're going to have to, this is where your personal courage comes in. And unfortunately, a lot of people are just not able to do that, especially when they're younger. So they end up learning through consequences, which is a greater, it's a lot more, it's tougher. Okay, it's a lot, there's a lot, you lose a lot more than if you're just strong enough to just be like, nah, I'm not going to tolerate this and just walk away from it. But you need to just limit limit what you say and do too soon. You can still be courteous, but just don't open up too much. You know, you can hang out with a person, but maybe not have them over to your house too quickly, having them involved with your family. See what their home like is like. Is like, you know, they sometimes they want to come to your house. You've never been to their house. What do they do at their house? Okay, listen to what they say, how they treat others, because this is going to let you know this person's trying to be your friend, but maybe they're bullied to someone else. This is not a good person. Okay, and one of the things that I want to say before I go is that something you need to know is a toxic and jealous friend, when the friendship ends, they will tell all your business and your secrets. If someone is truly your friend, even and a person of good character, okay, is that even if you guys are not friends, they're not going to go and tell your secrets. They're not going to go and tell your business. But someone who is toxic, they'll go tell people all kinds of things about you. They'll talk about your family, your house. They'll talk about different things about you, your secrets, because they weren't a good friend. So one of the things you need to do is also be very, very careful in what you share. You don't need to tell them about anything about childhood traumas and things like that that you suffer. That's too big of sensitive information to give to anybody. It really is, because they can take that information and then they could take that information and use it against you. So just don't, especially when the friendship ends. The thing to realize is that true friends are gems, and they are very rare. They're rare. You meet a lot of people that you can associate with, people that you have fun with, people you can laugh with, but a true friend, someone who's really going to be there for you through thick and thin, understands you. You guys may have disagreements, but you always find ways to work it out because you genuinely care for one another and your heart is pure towards one another. These individuals exist, and but they are rare to find. But they're there. And if you are a genuine person and you are truly kind, you're going to find that it will take you a while before you find that true friend, and you're going to know. You're going to feel at ease together, you're going to flow together. You're going to get past the honeymoon phase, as I'm going to call it. It means it's not just because right now you all are cool, but you're just going to flow perfectly together because you have the same, your hearts are the same. It is pure. You just want to be a friend. You have no ill intent. And this person is worth taking your time. So just take your time, and what is real, what is true, and what you are on the inside, you're going to pull it to you. All right. But at the same time, you will end up pulling the not so good, because a lot of times, you're going to run into a lot of counterfeits before the genuine, before you find the real deal. And why that happens is there's so many soulless people walking around, so many broken people, so many people who are just mean spirited and have ill intent. They can look at you and they can see that you're kind. They'll watch your life, they'll see certain things, and they'll just try to attach themselves to you, like a tick. And so you need to know the difference. And the way you're going to know, a tick attaches itself onto someone, the dog, or like a leech, and they're sucking you dry. They're taking something from you. And that's how you're going to know the difference. When they're around, they're changing the atmosphere. It's negative. You got to adjust yourself. They just make everything weird. That's how you know now you got yourself a dud. Throw that back. And that's it. And be bold and have courage, because that's one of the biggest things. People don't have the courage that even when they see that a person is not all that they are they are too scared, or they are too worried, they're too afraid to be alone. But if you're a courageous person and you're somebody who have character and morals and integrity and ethics, such a person, it takes boldness to say, I'll just be alone, I'll be by myself, not necessarily isolating yourself, but choosing, you know what, I will not hang with this person. And you know what, if it means I am eating by myself right now, or if it means I am doing this by myself at this moment, there's no problem. And you know, if you don't want to eat lunch by yourself, find out from your teachers or find out from your at your school what you can be doing during that lunch hour, what alternatives. Talk to your guidance counselors. Be utilize these individuals. Say, look, this is what I'm going through right now. I have a friend. We're not friends anymore. I don't really want to eat alone in the cafeteria. Is there anything that I could do during my lunch? Maybe still have my lunch, but volunteer to do something here just until this passes. You'd be surprised how maybe your counselor or teacher will help you. And what you can also do, if you're not a student, find something else that you can do. And you be surprised. You don't have to eat in that specific spot. Eat in your car. Relax. Choose another place to go. Take a walk, go outdoors, sit in the sun, get in that sunlight, get that vitamin D, and you're going to see how resilient you are. Okay? I know this video was so much longer than I intended it to be, but I think it was definitely worth it. I hope it helps someone. Don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe. Don't forget to give me your feedback and tell me your stories. All right, guys. Bye.